I'm going to be controversial here, Darren, but the answer is profile.
Those blunt words come from Jack Keady, an aviation consultant and former American Airlines executive. We paid a visit on Mr. Keady at his home near Los Angeles International Airport to get his take on the Christmas Day terrorist attempt aboard Northwest Flight 253. We asked him what we can do to combat security threats.
Profile, recognize who the bad people are, and if someone comes through with characteristics of that profile, just give them intense scrutiny. You'll get screams and yells from other members of that group, but there is a price to be paid. And safety sometimes has to intrude just a little bit on privacy. We concentrate our attention equally on all sorts of people, families, priests, and children and babies, and maybe we do have to do some profiling because the bad people are of a certain character.
In the wake of the Christmas Day bombing attempt, a number of experts and groups, including the Council on American Islamic Relations, have said passenger profiling doesn't work, and that it is counterproductive and leads to a climate of insecurity and fear. Racial and religious profiling has been used by security officers in Israel for decades. Although numerous civil rights groups have demanded an end to the practice, Israel maintains that it's both effective and unavoidable. While the U.S. Justice Department stated in 2003 that racial profiling was wrong and would not be tolerated in this country, most recently it's been reported that the Justice Department is considering letting the FBI use profiling tactics to root out terrorists. Keady also said we should be making use of technology, employing the so-called full-body scanners at airports, which can prove more effective than traditional security screening methods.
There is a, shall we call it a body search x-ray device that people have perfected, and it pretty much shows whatever bad things you're carrying on your body. It's intrusive, but maybe this will be the call for that, and maybe this will suggest to people that we really need to do that.
I also asked him about the immediate reaction to the Christmas Day incident and what he thought about the restrictions imposed by the TSA, like the rule forcing passengers to remain in their seats during the final hour of the flight.
And that's the overreaction, especially staying in your seat for the last hour, because if someone's going to commit mayhem, they can do it over the Atlantic in the middle of the flight.
What effect do you think this is going to have, more behind the scenes on the airlines themselves? And, they've been struggling the last few years to, try to be profitable. They've been hit with a lot of things. What do you think? What impact will this have on them?
Well, it's hard to quantify. The ordinary man in the street will say first the business people will go more and more to video conferencing, and the pleasure people will go more and more to driving or staying home. But you can't really determine that, because what happens if traffic dips a little, airlines cut their prices and then the seats fill up again. So it's really hard to determine.